Hey guys, this is Jakobi doing another Wednesday with the trans tubers. Um, I am sorry that the video is so late. Normally I have it done early on Wednesdays, but it's not going to be um, put on until later on. I've been really, really busy with work. I had a public speaking event and presentations to do. I have a deadline that is due 2 days from today, and I've just been really busy with that. Um, this week's topic is bullying and depression. Um, I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. I've had bullies all my life. Um, Mostly started like with school and stuff like that. Earliest time in school that I could recall of having like bullies and what have you was like pre-K, kindergarten, that kind of stuff. Bullying got so bad that I had to cut off all my hair because a bully decided to put gack in it. It was like this old toy that was like silly putty back in the 90s. It was made by Nickelodeon. It kind of looked like the slime that they use. And he actually smeared it inside my hair. So by the time the beautician and my mom had tried everything they could to get it out, they weren't successful and they had to cut about 14 inches of hair. And that was devastating. Other events, black eyes, busted lips, got thrown down and, you know, uh, had road rash, that kind of stuff. Just from fights and, you know, people just being downright horrible. And then trying to fit in, I did a lot of damaging stuff to myself. Um, I was bulimic for 2 years because I wanted to wear the same clothes that everybody else was wearing. And, by the time I was a freshman in high school, I was already about 5'7", 5'8". And I've always been kind of a bigger kid, broad shoulders, that kind of thing. I wasn't necessarily fat, I was fit, but, I was still a bigger kid. And to fit into those clothes, you know, I pursued an image, and an image that made me very sick. And, it wasn't worth it. And I even tried committing suicide because with all the bullying, it led to depression. I felt, worthless. I felt useless. And, it's really sad when someone so young feels those things and they commit suicide and they succeed in it because they don't see what life has to offer them. They see the beginning. After high school, it doesn't matter if you're wearing name brands. It doesn't matter that you're the captain of the football team. Yeah, on a rare case, you'll, play for college and you'll end up being scouted into the NFL. But the percentage of high school football players that get into good colleges and then get into the NFL or whatever. So once you think about it, even if you don't make it, that doesn't give you an excuse to end your life or what have you. But, like, those little things that you think matter don't. And after high school, they definitely don't matter. The people that I tried so hard to emulate and tried to be a part of their cliques and what have you are nothing. I have a good job. I have a great job. I have a position that's actually worth something. And then when we're finally all successful in getting the name out there and doing what I'm supposed to do, this job that I have is going to be huge. And, the people that I emulated, one of them is a gas station attendant with 4 children, all of them from different baby daddies. And another guy that I liked hanging out with, or tried to hang out with and stuff like that. They thought he was going to go places, but right after high school, he did some stupid stuff and he's still in jail for it. We graduated 9 years ago. So, I mean, it's just whatever. It doesn't mean anything. And so, all of these students who are doing it so young, they don't get to realize that there's so much more to live for. There's so much more to this life than the bullshit that they've been handed. You know, I even tried to commit suicide, and I'm glad I wasn't successful because I wouldn't get to see the lovely lady that my niece is becoming. I wouldn't get to watch my nephew graduate from high school, which he's doing in a few months. I would have never got to meet the greatest love of my life, my fiance, who has been the biggest support and my only advocate through this whole transition. And like all these little things, all these great moments that I've had in my life, I wouldn't have gotten to experience them because the time that I tried to commit suicide was years before I got to see this. And yes, life has sucked. Yes, I've, contemplated, you know, not being here or, giving up once or twice, but I didn't. I persevered, and it was hard, and there was blood, sweat, and tears, and it didn't come easy. But you know what? I'm finally at a place where I could say, I've done good, and I'm happy with that. And I'm not just happy with that, I'm going to keep growing and succeeding because I'm finally becoming the man that I've always wanted to be. It dawned on me that I'm already a better man than the only person that I have to emulate as far as manhood and stuff go. After my brother and my dad died, I have one remaining older brother, and I'm doing eons better in life than he ever will because he decided to make really stupid decisions and he's still paying for them. He's in his 40s, he's living under my mom's roof, and my mom has to, take care of him like a insolent child because he was in prison for on and off for about 13, 14 years. And nobody will hire him because they don't trust a convict. So he can't even make his own money. If not, they have to pay him under the table. And, here I am, no criminal record, have not even spent any time in jail. And I'm becoming a really good member of society. I can honestly say that in that facet of my life, I don't regret how my life has turned out because I could stand up and be proud and know that if I hung out with those people who did the stupid stuff, I would be exactly like my brother. Because a lot of the people that I wanted to follow and thought that they were so badass in high school, they've done time in jail and they've done stupid shit and I haven't. So I'm a big advocate for the It Gets Better project. There are so many suicides and so many horrible statistics over kids who start committing suicide when they're like 12. And, you know, there's even people who work for the Trevor Project. There was one kid individually that I want to point out who was so about the It Gets Better project and helping with the Trevor Project, but even then he didn't believe that life was worth living, and he ended up committing suicide. And it's so sad to see so many promising people who could end up being our next politicians, being the people who we end up voting for, being our allies, being, who could quite possibly be our first homosexual president, our first female president, have a president who was a drag queen at one point in time, having like, you know, I I recently watched RuPaul's Drag Race, and the one who's very promising to win, she's had a horrible life with bullies and stuff like that, but you see her kicking ass and taking names. Her name is Sharon Needles, and she even dealt with bullies so much that she left high school and didn't finish because bullying wasn't worth it. And even when you are made to feel worthless and you don't feel like life could get any worse or even any better because you don't deserve it, you do. And there's I just feel so bad for the families and the people that are left behind because I have had to be that person left behind because somebody I was close to committed suicide. And if I could help it and just say whatever to stop one person, let alone how many will watch this video, I've done my job. Because I feel that your life is worth living. Every life is worth living. You just got to get over all of the bumps, get over, the forks in the road and the cement barrier that you don't think you could crash through. Crash through it, climb it, look at the other side, and see that sometimes it is greener, even if you have to walk miles, even if you have to fight tooth and nail, even if you end up um, bleeding and so dehydrated because of all the tears that you've lost. You've gained a new perspective on life, and life is all about growing and learning from your mistakes. And just because you're not successful one time doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful, period. And I'm definitely an advocate for that too, because until very recently, I didn't have anything that I could really, really be proud of as far as my professional career, my job, and what have you. And then I was given this opportunity of the job that I'm working my ass off in, and if I was successful with committing suicide, I would never get to see that through. Never see that, yeah, it took me, after college classes, it took me after fails attempts at, different jobs, it took me to getting into bad credit, it took accidents, it took whatever to realize that I wasn't invincible. It took so much, but even though I'm a little crooked, I'm still standing, and I'm still proud to say that I survived. So, yeah, even though seasonal and the onset of depression still come and kick my ass sometimes, I'm not giving up, and neither should you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the video here. It looks like it's running a little bit on the longer side. I have lots of work to do, so take it easy, guys. Don't work too hard. Don't party too hard either. And I'll see you all next week.